Social Perspectives is brought to you by Everett and Kenny.
What's up, world? Welcome to Social Perspectives. I'm J. Gentile Everett. It's such a beautiful thing to love. Love is often the composition of special attention, expensive gifts, the constant presence of someone who occupies our minds, the careful engagement of making sure our loved one never faces anything challenging in life, regardless of their age, without it impacting our day. Sometimes our love for someone is so strong and so arresting, we have forgotten how to even feel ourselves. In our mind, we can only exist if that special someone who has captured the gamut of our emotions are happily going through their lives, even if their happiness is financed by the resources we have amassed. The money was made by us, but its administrator is under the exclusive control of the emotions we have for someone else. And even while our resources, our credit, and the management of our own financial responsibilities go from marvelous to malignant, we embrace our new position of want while our prudent judgment has been burglarized and robbed by the inebriated emotions we have for others. Let's slow down and ask ourselves a question. Am I assisting my loved one, or am I obstructing their maturity? It might be time for us to answer that question. So stay up and stay alert. We'll be right back.
Double Vision RT and Bostic Films are proud to announce that they are currently accepting applicants for various roles for the movie Three Rams and a Hubcap, written by best-selling author Gentile. Please feel free to visit the website at threeramsandahubcap.com for more information and view methods of submitting your interest. Again, visit Three Rims and a Hubcap for more information. The producers are standing by.
Welcome back to Social Perspectives. Is loving too much dangerous? How do we know the signs as well as the risk when it is happening? We're going to start tonight's show by talking about love between your emotional partner. You love your partner and you think it is natural to follow the urge to constantly be around them. It is really called the urge to merge. And it's very common, especially when a relationship is new. But loving too much can make your partner feel suffocated. Your partner is likely to think you are smothering them, and that relationship is determined to fail. These are just some signs we might desire to consider when we assess our relationships. Number one, is your partner the center of your universe? Do you know when you allow your partner to occupy the integral space of your emotions and your social interactions, you automatically lock yourself out of experiences that may have been designed to fulfill your life and allow you to grow in other areas. This will often lead to a relationship that will morph from romance to micromance. Micromance may be considered a play on words or merely semantics, but it is real nonetheless. You see, micromanagement is always a problem in virtually all walks of life because it sends messages of insecurity. It sends messages that you have a lack of trust or you feel the need to spy on your partner. And no one wants to be the object of being spied upon. Micromanagement in a relationship can also cause you to feel upset when your partner does not agree with your plans or your choices. It oftentimes will make you defensive and argumentative. And these types of actions, particularly if they are constant, will inevitably destroy the foundation of that relationship. And therefore, it's predetermined to go downhill. Secondly, have you lost yourself in the relationship? This can usually be seen when your partner is your priority one and there is nothing else on your list. That means you have alienated all those who have been there for you in the past. Do you have an abandoned friend and you make up reasons why you don't see them? It can even be members of your family. These are signs that you are on the pathway of losing yourself trying to maintain a relationship. Sometimes this will even have us to put our goals on hold because we feel that without the presence of that special loved one at all times in every situation latched on us like the garments we have on our bodies. When that happens, we are nurturing an unhealthy relationship. This will lead us to consequences of loving someone too much. Love sometimes means that you have to respect boundaries. Love also means that you have to respect those boundaries. And when you fail to do that, you will stop taking care of yourself and you'll start doing everything your partner wants you to do just because they want you to make them happy. You no longer get up and find pleasure in dressing yourself or smiling at yourself because you have lost the enjoyment of your personal company. This is unhealthy. This is not a place you want to be in your life because when you're at that place, you have effectively said, I have no other life outside of a life with that person. And I am handing over my life to someone else. And then I simply become a puppet of pleasure, exclusively existing for the primary and secondary purposes of bringing joy and fulfillment to someone else at the risk of having absolutely none for myself. Lastly, let me encourage all of you to understand that it is far better to have made a life for yourself before bringing someone else in it. It is better to have a life made and not a life full of chaos and clamor. In other words, try to have a life to share rather than being a life to someone that they have to bear. Love yourself, for it serves as a foundation that you have learned how wonderful love can be. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
When you're in need of making the old new again with beautiful upholstery, D. Berry's Upholstery is the best, whether it's automobile interior or exterior, boats, church pews, or any residential or commercial seating and the like. Look no further. D. Berry Upholstery's got you covered. Call D. Berry's at 910-276-2265 and experience new again.
I want to give a special shout out to a young lady who's doing a marvelous work and trying to help people own their own homes. Her name is Denise Smith, Senior Loan Officer with Carrington Mortgage. Her credentials and contact information are on the screen now. Please get it and respond. They have many programs trying to help minorities and people who otherwise would not have the opportunity to own their own home. She is standing for all of us. Thank you, Denise, for all that you have done and will do for those that will be contacting you. Tell Denise J. Gentile Everett asked you to call. Welcome back. Love is supposed to enhance and edify one's life. It should be an act for personal improvement. Therefore, love should not be the obstruction of self-development, but rather the exact opposite. When you neglect yourself, you might lose several great educational or career opportunities along the way. Do you believe your partner's goals will serve you more in the end? Perhaps in some way, you might financially and economically benefit from the achievements of your partner. No question about that. But does that mean you should not have goals for your life? The reason why this is important is none of us are able to determine what the future holds. Our partner's plans may be fantastic and they may be promising, but in the end, you have to concern yourself with your own personal development, because none of us know how long we will have anyone in our lives that we love. When you decide that you would rather not grow and only make sure that growth takes place in the life of someone else, who's to say that person that you are serving and sacrificing yourself for might not just change in the process of reaching their goals? And in some cases, when people meet their goals, they morph into someone else. They may find that you are no longer adequate for the space that you have occupied in their lives prior to this moment. Situations and conditions often change people from what they used to be to what they think they have become. Therefore, it is strongly advised that as you sacrifice and support all the dreams of those who are special in your life, that you do not forget that you have a life that needs to grow and develop and ultimately be fulfilled. I found out in the years that I've dealt with people, even though my relationship with God has always been, it's sort of like a ubiquitous presence with me, God has shown me something in the course of these years, and that is, He didn't create anyone for the sole purpose of totally being detached and exclusively being there to just serve you. That's the danger that we will fall into if we decide we're going to put our lives on hold only for the benefit of someone else to take our energy, take our skills and our gifts, and attach them to their lives without any regards to developing us along the way. This is only an instruction I'm giving, and having tried many of these things, I've come to understand we all need emotional balance with the person that we love, or persons. We are all called to love someone, but we must recognize that real love respects boundaries, and obsessive love is unhealthy because it destroys all boundaries and requires total and complete docility in all things. And in some cases, those that we love are only interested in our acquiescence, and never are they interested in things we differ with them on. Having differences does not make us incompatible. It only means that we have ideas that may be dissimilar, but they only exist for us to provide us a way to grow and to embrace a higher and greater understanding about the issue. Let's all remember, real love is unconditional, and it should not be desired nor accepted any other way. Anytime people tell you that they love you until you do X, Y, or Z, they have an inherent limitation on their understanding of love, number one, and they are letting you know just how far they're willing to go with you. When there is an inherent limitation in the love that you have for someone, if you stay with them at some point, somewhere along the shores of life, those boundaries will be challenged, and therefore that person will have to make a decision. They will have to decide whether or not they are really willing to go any further with you. Lastly, I want to encourage all who will listen to this broadcast to love with all that you have. But please consider the following. Try to identify in your relationship where boundaries need to be established. And sometimes consider it's okay if you are not always available, and never try to be overly dependent. Please learn how to trust your partner's judgment and understand that they are more than a one-dimensional creation. They are multifaceted and complex, and give them the opportunity to make their own mistakes. Lastly, interact and spend some time with your friends and family members who you knew before you met the object of your affection. They were a significant part of your life. Continue to live and appreciate them. And in the end, decide which one do you really want to be. Do you want to have a relationship where you celebrate your partner, or do you want a relationship where you merely tolerate your partner. You decide. It does make a difference. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Our host has become the embodiment of the Renaissance man. Get ready for Gentil's next album coming this spring. From candlelit jazz to R&B, the smooth minister musician is redefining spiritual approaches and reaching people for Christ. He is personifying love as a centerpiece for ministry, and when love is real, it's because God is present. He can and will do all the rest. Get ready this spring for Renaissance Gentil to show us that God is never boring. His ways are not our ways, so never knock what you do not yet understand.
We are excited to share with you our new office that we just opened in the Washington, Maryland area. The phone number is 301-578-5800. That's 301-578-5800. Everett Media. Please give us a call if there's anything that we can do to help you and your community, or to shed or shine light where there is darkness. You can catch all of the things that we are involved in. Please go to our website. That's jgeverett.com. Follow up with the number that's at the bottom of your screen, and you will be able to stay in touch with us. You can contribute to our causes, and we will have merchandise there for you to purchase. That's Everett Media, 301-578-5800. Welcome back to our final segment. We've tried to offer you things to consider in your love relationships, and whether it is romantic or platonic love, love still has to be understood so that it can flourish and soar. Significant constructs of respect, trust, and laughter are essential for love to keep moving upwardly. Nothing is more destructive to a marvelous relationship than the absence of just being able to have a good time. Keep laughter and light times in the relationship space, because it is an alluring magnet that draws our partners to us rather than repelling them in another direction. In my life, I've heard some say that their love for someone just got old. I think they mean it has gotten on a type of metaphorical respirator. It's sort of like love don't live here anymore. The atmosphere is dull, and going into your partner's space has become a tedious task. Well, it might be because you guys have forgotten what attracted you from the beginning. Just because your love with your partner gets older doesn't mean that the love is old. The magical thing about love is it's timeless. It's eternal. It does not have a beginning date, nor does it have an expiration date. Every now and then, love gets lost in the throes of work, making money, dealing with other family members, or, yes, even dealing with the children. Unfortunately, some parents live with a guilt of children unplanned, and they are so endowed with a loving heart that they cannot help themselves but to put their lives on hold, and nothing is important anymore, just the children. Noble and loving it is to feel that way, but caring for others without the cared seeing how wonderful you care for yourself is also equally dangerous. It is important that as you take care of others, they get a profound sense and appreciation from you by the way you care for yourself. It has been said in time past, it's not until you have learned how to love you that you can possibly know how to love someone else. We're going to leave it there, and we want to thank you for catching our show on Social Perspectives. And these segments that we're talking about with love will continue because it is a thing that brings us all together. It's something we all have in common. And we are all trying to understand it better because as long as we live, love will be a part of it. Thank you again. We look forward to you catching all of the credits after the show. We want to show our appreciation to all of our sponsors and all of those who help us do this work. We thank you so very much. We ask you to stay tuned and catch the closing. And until the next time, we'll see you on Social Perspectives.
Social Perspectives is sponsored by ordinary people who believe in spreading love to all because everyone deserves to be loved. Please support our show with your tax-deductible gifts. You can cash out our work at $RENMI15. Again, $RENMI15 and help us reach the world.